What is going on, guys? Chris here from Adamantium Productions, and today I'm going to be talking about the lenses I use and why this minimal setup has been working great for me, and it allows me to do more and create better content. Now, right off the bat, these two lenses are the Canon 16-35 as well as the Canon 70-200. Now, this is the 70-200 f4 and this is the 2.8. Now, I did make a review about the Canon 16-35, giving my opinions on the lens, so if you want to check that out, basically repeating what I said before, this lens is phenomenal because it's extremely sharp and it's extremely versatile. The fact that I can use this for vlogging, for shooting music videos, for shooting portraits, for shooting street photography, for shooting most of my stuff, probably 85-90% of what I shoot is on this lens, and it's because it has, like I said before, it is extremely sharp. It has extremely fast autofocus. The 16mm on the full frame sensor of my Canon EOS R is fantastic for getting wide shots and for vlogging, and if I want, I can zoom it into 35mm, and at that focal range I can do portrait photography, or if I want a little bit shallower depth of field in my image. And the constant 2.8 aperture, like I mentioned before, is fantastic because in low light situations I'm getting a decent amount of light, as well as it creates a flattering bokeh when you're at 35mm. Now, any of you who have seen my last few videos, my last few vlogs, that was all shot on this lens. The only one complaint I'll have about it is that the motors, the autofocus motors in this lens are not that great, and they make a little bit of a clicking mechanical sound when changing focus. It doesn't bother me that much, and it doesn't affect the autofocus speeds. Now, moving on to my next lens, that is going to be the Canon 70-200 f4. This is not the 2.8. I was planning to get the 2.8 because I've had this lens for quite a long time, but it's worked for me perfectly fine, and the f4 aperture has never been an issue, mainly because I use this for outdoor photography or sports photography. So usually there is a decent amount of sunlight, so this lens is fantastic. It's extremely sharp. Autofocus speeds are lightning fast. I was able to capture birds flying in midair with this. And similarly to the 16-35, its 70-200 range is extremely versatile because 70mm is good for portrait photography if I want a really blurry background. Then I can zoom it in all the way to 200mm, and with 200mm you can get an even blurrier background. All that with the amazing autofocus and extreme sharpness just makes it fantastic. Now, the reason I've opted to only these two lenses is to shoot more minimally. I found out that about a year ago, I've kind of realized I had too much equipment, I had too many lenses and things in my kit, which distracted me from the fact that what I'm shooting matters more than what I'm shooting with. So I opted to go with these two lenses. If I'm ever shooting anything like a music video or vlogging or anything from a wider point of view, basically anything that I don't need a telephoto lens with, this lens works perfectly fine and is actually just amazing for. I usually just keep it on my camera at all times, and I can just pick it up and start filming or start shooting without having to worry, oh wait, what lens should I bring? Because the reality is that whole process of questioning what gear you should use and all of that is really distracting from actually shooting the content you need to shoot. So I'm glad that if I know that I don't need to be super zoomed in, I won't use this and I'll just use this lens. And if I know I need to have a tighter shot or a zoomed in shot like in sports photography, I'll just take this lens and put it on my camera, and then everything is simple. And also in my camera bag, it keeps it simple. Having lenses are pretty heavy and they're one of the heavier things in your camera bag. Having only two keeps it extremely simple, and it just takes a lot of stress off of my mind. And these, since they're both Canon L series lenses, I know that the quality is great. They're gonna last me a long time. They're both weather sealed. They're both extremely sharp and extremely durable. I see why people invest in Canon L series glass because they just last forever and they're super rugged, and I don't worry about their reliability, and not having to worry is an extremely relieving feeling when you're a content creator and you're trying to focus on so many things at once. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Chris here from Adamantium Productions, and I'll see you guys in the next video.